Hey guys, Joseph Baba Ifa here once again at Botanica Candles and More. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got some free time here at the Botanica at the moment, so wanted to go ahead and maybe touch on another topic while we have this opportunity. So we actually got a video request recently from somebody about the Orisha Ideu. So we're gonna go ahead and delve into that. Who is Ideu? Ideu is actually the third ibeji, right? In some versions. Be sure as well to please subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here. Please feel free to comment and like as well. But Ideu is most popularly known as the third ibeji, right? Or the third twin. And one of the Odus where you're going to find him most prominently is in the Odu Oshebara, right? It actually speaks of the ibeji in general. But there's a pataki there that we've actually touched on in other videos. But I'll go ahead and delve into it again because, you know, if you haven't seen that video, so we can really focus on Ideu. And what happened was in this sign, Shango and Oshun were married. And what ended up happening was obviously they fell in love. You know, Shango was a warrior. And he was actually, you know, he had a pending war that he was going to be going to. So what ended up happening was you know, right before he left, you know, him and Oshun had an encounter, or an entanglement. And what ended up happening was he actually left her, you know, impregnated. And they didn't know that, obviously, before he left. But he did leave. So Oshun was pregnant. And his stint in war was so long that Shango actually missed the birth of his children. But what ended up happening was Oshun actually gave birth to triplets, right? And what ended up happening was obviously this was unheard of in history, right? So what ended up happening is that everyone started accusing her of things or blaspheming her or slandering her character. And when Shango actually came back, he saw that there were 3 children here. So he was taken aback, to say the least. And he said, you know, you've been unfaithful to me. This is the only way, because up until that point in history, there had only been twins or twin children. So he basically publicly accused her, and they ultimately subpoenaed Oshun to court to be able to defend herself and her reputation. So she went for divination with Ifa, and Orumila instructed her to take her children to her sister Oya to tend to them, right? While she went to the court date, because she didn't know what was exactly going to happen. And Orumila said those were the best hands she could be in, or they could be in. So they took, or she took, the children to Oya. Oya ironically lived in the river, and Oshun went to court, and Shango was there, and the whole town was there, and you know, everybody started staking their case. And Olodumare said, Shango, what is your problem? What do you come with today? And Shango said, you know, my issue is that my wife was unfaithful to me. And he's like, well, how do you know that? And he was like, well, she had 3 kids at once, you know, so there must have been another man involved in that situation. And Olodumare looked at Oshun with a smile, and he said, were you unfaithful to your husband? And she's like, by no means. If anything, I've been waiting for him for over a year. You know, no one here can say I've slept with anybody out of marriage. And Olofin said, you're an honest woman, and because of it, you'll always be blessed, and your children will always be blessed. So he looked at Shango and he told him, he said, you know, you really have to have more patience when it comes to making accusations, or, you know, have a little bit more respect for your wife, because you didn't even ask her what happened before you started making all these claims and putting your business out there. I was the one who sent her the 3 children at once because I wanted to give you guys a blessing, right? And an honor of being the first couple to have these. But, you know, you sullied that through your conduct. So publicly, you need to apologize to her and ask her for forgiveness, right? And he did. Shango, you know, he had the humility to do so, and he did. And Oshun was instructed to go get her children so they could be recognized. Unfortunately, when Oshun went to the river, the first 2, who are known as Taiwo and Kainde, did survive, but the third one passed away. Now, mind you, I've read the pataki in multiple formats. It doesn't necessarily say Ideu, but through interpretation and through reading the story, I mean, anybody that's versed in Ifa lore can see that this is Ideu, you know, the triplet that unfortunately passed away. So it speaks of that, right? That was one of Ideu's first manifestations within Ifa. And, you know, it says a lot about him in general. You're going to hear various things about this Orisha. You're going to see that, you know, he's associated a lot with like phenomenons and things like that. You're going to hear some people say that he should live next to Olokun because he represents, you know, things that are disfigured or, you know, premature natal birth and things like that. So he's associated with all those different things. You're going to hear other people say that, you know, obligatory, the children of Oshun should have this deity. That's up for debate, but, you know, a lot of people do consider this. So that's the first aspect of Ideu. But he is recognized as one of the children of Oshun and Shango, right? He was one of the triplets and unfortunately was the one that passed away. A little bit of a sad story. Very sad story. But there's also another manifestation of Ideu. And it can be found in the Odu of Eyobe, right? And what happened here is that Oshun was basically a very impoverished woman. She didn't have much money. Unfortunately, this is kind of what she went through on a couple different incarnations where the children of Oshun really have to put a lot of effort in to become financially stable, amongst other areas of their life. And she went for divination with Orumila, and Orumila recommended that she do Ebo. And she was going to deposit the Ebo wherever she could walk the furthest to, or wherever she became tired, right? On the Lona, or on whichever path she was on. And what ended up happening is she did that, and when she got to where her legs basically could go no more, was like this abandoned, ruined house type thing. And when she walked in, she ran into three bandoleros, or criminals, right? Or thieves. And, you know, they had a lot of bags of money, and they were just doing the thief thing. And they all started fighting over her because they all started saying who was going to be the one to be with her, right? Or to take advantage of her, unfortunately. So Oshun dropped the Ebo and went running back to Orumila's house. And when she got there, Orumila said, you have to do another Ebo and go back to the same place. And Oshun was like, nah. Those guys were killing each other. He's like, if you want to alleviate your destiny and really progress, this is what Ifa says needs to be done. So she was like, all right, here we go. Another Ebo. She went back and she saw that one of the guys was dead, right? And she's like, oh God. So she dropped the packet and the other two guys kept fighting, right? She went back to Orumila's house running scared. And Orumila said, well, once again, Ifa says you have to do another Ebo. This is known as the three Ebos of Eyobe, right? Where Oshun became wealthy. And she was like, nah, there's no way. And she ended up going back again. And when she went back, she saw the last guy. And she dropped the Ebo and went to run away, but he went like, please, don't run away. I'm dying. Please speak to me. And she said, you know, what is going on? And he said, you know, we all lost our minds for your beauty. And, you know, I was able to defeat the last person that was trying to be with you, or the other thief. But, you know, he fatally wounded me and, you know, I'm dying right now. But you're so beautiful. And I fell in love with you so quickly that I want you to have all that was ours. So all of these riches, this home, this property, all of these things, this is yours now. My name is Ideu. And, you know, always remember me, right? Speak to me of your children, or speak to your children of me, you know, make me everlasting, right? And always recognize me as being the one who helped you, you know, reach your goal of being stable, right? So Oshun, you know, she started crying. It was very unfortunate. But she took all the wealth or the money. She went back to Orumila's house. Ironically, she ended up marrying Orumila, or in Ejobe was where, you know, Orumila and Oshun, you know, got married. But, you know, another manifestation of the name Ideu, right? He's not viewed in this Pataki as her son, but he is viewed as basically the deity or Orisha that helped her become stable economically and ultimately from a matrimonial standpoint as well, or from a marriage standpoint. So this is where, in this Pataki, we kind of see another manifestation of him and kind of see how he's so identified with Oshun. And a lot of people believe that Ideu brings marital as well as economic stability to the children of Oshun, or the people that receive him in general, right? Very popular deity in the Afro-Cuban practice, especially now. So, you know, another manifestation of him. Unfortunately, he is an Orisha that has a lot to do with like Egun or the spirits, because if you look Pataki after Pataki, you know, unfortunately the gentleman's constantly dying. There's not really a Pataki that I've read about him, and there's a slew more. I'm not going to delve into all of them. But just to give a, you know, a quick idea of, you know, him and his characteristics, there's plenty of Pataki where unfortunately he's repetitively dying. He doesn't last very long. So he's associated with like, you know, miscarriages and things like that, unfortunately. But he's a great deity to invoke or to receive, you know, for women who are planning on, you know, giving, you know, having children or families or anything like that. And he can even be given in conjunction with the ibeji, his brothers or brother and sister, depending how you interpret that. And a lot of people even, you know, the children of Oshun, from an obligatory standpoint, they're going to try and give that to you. So that's Ideu. Interesting deity, interesting concept. Not a bad one to receive. No multiple people with it. Very popular, very beautiful. You're going to see that his doll usually is, you know, a light skin or even dark skinned, you know, doll of a young boy, possibly with like a yellow clothing on it, you know, usually yellow gingham, yellow satin. He's usually given in a yellow sopera or a soup tureen or ajere. And he's usually going to be living next to the other ibeji. You're going to see him next to Olokum sometimes, or you're going to see him next to Oshun as well, right? Great deity to have. But to our viewer that asked that question, we sincerely appreciate you putting it up. It's a great deity to talk about, not one that there's a lot of information on. And we definitely want to continue delving into Ifa to find more manifestations. I mean, the Orisha are nothing more than basically deified ancestors that are just spoken about over generations, right? So when you see these names like Ideu, or you're going to see even through multiple Ifa scriptures, names of people that aren't considered Orisha but are very, you know, prevalent. As you study scripture, you're going to see certain names that are repeated. These are things you want to be able to touch on, because there isn't a lot of accumulated information over all of these different personalities that reincarnated multiple times in Ifa. So definitely, as you're doing an independent study, make sure you throw it here on the page or even on this video. Please let us know what you find, so we can all grow together and learn together. As long as it's coherent, and of course, as long as it's not a sacrilege, right? That we're not putting anything secret or from a ceremonial standpoint in public forum, right? So, you know, Joseph Baba Ifa, channel's doing wonderful. Botanica's doing wonderful. We really appreciate your guys' support. Be sure to like, comment. Please subscribe to the channel. We're growing more every day. And if you guys need us here at Botanica Candles and More with our, you know, bunch of new inventory, new temple, bunch of different things we could do for you, we're here to serve, right? So from Joseph Baba Ifa, Botanica Candles and More, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Speak to you soon.